I have no idea what this moment means to you right now. What was going through your mind right before you hit play? I don't know what your room looks like or what time of day it is around you. I do know one thing, though. You felt a soft pull to be here. Not a loud choice, not a strong desire. There was a quiet nudge inside. The kind that doesn't always come with words, but with a sense of timing. Like something is lining up below the level of everyday awareness. And that kind of pull doesn't just happen by chance. It's usually a sign that your field is picking up on something familiar, something helpful, or something that fits with the way your consciousness is already moving. So before I go any further, let me ask you a question that isn't meant to be rude or demanding. What has been changing inside you lately that you can't quite put your finger on? You don't want other people to notice the big events or hard times in your life. You want them to notice the small changes in your mood. Have you sensed a soft easing in your chest or shoulders, like a buildup of tension is slowly letting go? Or have you felt a weight you can't quite put your finger on? Like something old is ready to move, but hasn't quite found its way out yet? Do you feel like your days have more space than they used to? Or do they feel squished and heavy, making it hard to take a deep breath and enjoy your life? You don't have to say your answer. You don't need to tell anyone anything. It's enough to just notice. Because noticing makes you aware, and being aware is the key to every real change that ever takes place. If you've been hiding more than you let anyone see, I want you to hear something clearly. You didn't just happen to be here at this time. Your being here is important. Your mind, your emotions, and your nervous system all picked up on a resonance and moved toward it. That alone tells me something about you. It tells me that even on days when you felt tired, down, uncertain, or quietly overwhelmed, a deeper part of you kept choosing life, growth, and being present over disappearing. That choice, which is made over and over in small, invisible ways, has a lot more power than most people know. Sometimes you might not recognize the inner work you've been doing just by staying. It was hard to stay present when it would have been easier to shut down. Part of you wanted to run away into old habits or emotional fog, but you stayed involved. Staying open when fear or disappointment made you want to close down. These times don't show up on your list of accomplishments or social timelines, but they shape the whole structure of your energetic identity. They change how your nervous system sets up safety. The way your perception grid looks at the world changes because of them. The frequency signature you send out into the living field around you changes because of them. Out of all the frequencies in the consciousness matrix, there is only one that is exactly like yours. Your unique mix of memory, sensitivity, perception, creativity, and resilience is not found in any other nervous system. There is no other signal that encodes exactly how you feel life, figure out what it all means, and react to subtle energy. That being unique isn't a coincidence. It's not little. It can't be changed. It is part of the field's intelligence showing itself through you as a living awareness node. And as the next part of your life starts, whether you write it down on a calendar or just know it in your heart, something different is already moving toward you. Not because the world got easier or nicer all of a sudden, but because you are slowly becoming more logical in your own mind. What can meet you changes when you're coherent. New probability lanes are stabled by coherence. When you have coherence, your experiences can organize around you with more grace, flow, and resonance. Being challenged doesn't go away when you grow, but it changes how that challenge affects your gut. It changes the friction into something nice instead of a threat. You are still on track. You haven't missed some deadline that you can't see that the universe set. Punishment clocks and exclusion schedules don't work in the field. It works based on signal integrity, readiness, and alignment. Whatever is really meant to happen in your life can't go around your frequency. It meets you when your system can hold it all together without breaking up. An old belief says that every structure has a crack, and that crack does not mean the structure has failed. It's where light comes in and changes the structure from the inside out. Your weak spots, doubts, and times when you feel vulnerable are not flaws in the way you were made. They are gaps in your perception grid where new connections can form. These are spots where the field can connect with your humanity and slowly improve your operating system. Take care of yourself in the important ways, not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. As new cycles start, let them reflect back the kindness, patience, and quiet courage you have been showing all along, even if no one ever praised it. There is more going on here than just support or kindness, though. What you're getting now is more than just language. It's not just sound waves that are going into your ears. It is frequency information that gets into your nervous system and interacts with your electromagnetic field. This has a small effect on your internal coherence patterns. Paying attention gives you power. Presenting yourself teaches you. Care that is clearly directed turns into a type of field modulation. Something in your system just changed a little, like a tuning dial moving a little closer to harmony, whether you were aware of it or not. This is the start of real transformation. Most people were taught that words are just signs, that thoughts are private, and that feelings stay inside the body and don't affect the outside world. But that's not how things work in the real world when it comes to quantum field dynamics and bioenergetic transmission. An electrical impulse is made by every thought. A magnetic modulation is made by every emotion. They work together to make an electromagnetic signature that keeps sending signals into the information field around them. The field is not separate from your body. It has both a smart receiver and a smart transmitter built right in. The Arcturian model of consciousness sees reality as a responsive intelligence grid, which is a living field of probabilities that reads and reacts to the signals moving through it and how coherent or incoherent they are. As an object drifts through space, you are not moving through reality like that. Through the quality of your inner state, you are a localized center of awareness that changes probability. Nothing is a fixed object at the quantum level until it is stabilized by observation. At first, everything is just potential, information in the form of waves or fluid possibility. These waves become experience when you become aware of them. Being aware is not neutral, though. A person's level of awareness, emotional tone, nervous system safety, the consistency of their thoughts, and the alignment of their heart all affect which probabilities become real. You're not just looking at reality. By being the way you are a part of its ongoing creation. Most people send out their internal survival patterns into the field without meaning to, and then they wonder why they keep having the same experiences. They think that their thoughts are just for them. They think that their feelings are just noise in the background. They think that the only place their self-image exists is in their head. But the field gets all of it as data for instructions. Coherence is reflected in the field. The field shows how fragmented things are. The field organizes your experience based on the frequency signature that you carry at any given time. This is why small changes inside matter more than big changes outside. Even a small change in your nervous system, a small rise in safety, or a small increase in self-trust can change your whole electromagnetic broadcast. And the field reacts right away, even if it takes a while for things to look different. It wasn't just comforting when someone told you earlier that you matter, that you're further along than you think, and that grace is meeting you. It was an interruption of the signal. It added a new pattern of coherence to your perception grid. Your nervous system learned new things about safety, worthiness, and possibility if your body let that message land, even if it was only slightly noticeable. That changes the probability architecture you are talking to about on its own. This is where a lot of people get it wrong about how consciousness and manifestation work. They think that controlling your thoughts, saying affirmations over and over, or forcing yourself to be positive are ways to change reality. When that doesn't work, they decide the whole idea is just a fantasy. The mind does not send the signal, though. The brain and nerves do. The mind and heart do. The field of the subconscious does. No amount of positive thinking can change the deeper signal if those layers are sending out contraction, threat, or not deserving. When you are in a frequency, you can't think your way out of it. You need to recalibrate the environment inside the device where the frequency is made. This is why safety is so important in the nervous system. When the body senses danger, even if it's only in its subconscious, it narrows its view, reinforces old protective identity loops, and sends out a defensive frequency into the field. It's when the body feels safe that curiosity grows, creativity soars, trust solidifies, and new probability pathways open up. Perfect is not the same as coherent. Mind, body, emotion, and awareness all need to be in sync. It's when your body's systems talk to each other without fighting. A clean signal is made by coherence. When there is a clean signal, the field can respond clearly without any distortion. So how does this change start to happen in real life? Not just as an idea, but as something that is lived? The first step is to become aware of your own patterns without judging them. You enter observer awareness the moment you notice a pattern. Being aware of being an observer turns on the brain's prefrontal coherence circuits and stops automatic survival loops from working. When you map out an Arcturian neurofield, this is called phase state decoupling. You are no longer stuck in the pattern. You are now seeing it from a higher level of awareness. You may notice that your system gets a little tighter when good things start to happen. Don't get too excited or calm down just yet. A quiet voice warns. Something bad could happen. There is no negativity in that. Based on what you've been through in the past, your nervous system has built that protection algorithm. It learned that waiting for something brings disappointment, so it tries to keep the pain of the future to a minimum by stifling the joy of the present. When it worked, it kept you safe. But now it limits what you can receive. You can gently change the signal pathway when you become aware of this reflex and choose to pause, breathe slowly, and bring your awareness into your body instead of following the thought. You are teaching your nervous system that being present doesn't mean you are in danger. You are leaving behind a new frequency imprint. It only takes a little softening to move the broadcast a little. There is no need for big changes in the field. It reacts to small changes in coherence. You can change stations on your radio with a small turn of the dial, and the same is true for your reality. You don't just have to do this process once. It has to do with repetition. When you pay attention to the pattern and choose to be present instead of reacting automatically, you make the new neural pathway stronger and the old one weaker. Over time, the nervous system finds a new normal. It gets easier to be safe. Possibility can be reached. In a higher coherence band, your signal stays stable. When this keeps happening, the outside world starts to react differently. More synchronicities happen. Chances come up more naturally. Things are going more smoothly. It gets easier to make decisions. Not because you made the universe do what you wanted, but because your signal now lets different odds become stable. You're not in charge of reality. You're being tuned in. As you keep listening, you may already feel slight changes in your body. You may feel warm, calm, or slightly alert. That is the way your nervous system reacts to coherent frequency input. When your biofield changes its phase alignment, that's what you hear. Let this happen on its own. You can't force anything. Do not ignore any small changes you feel in your body right now, like a softening, a quiet alertness, or a sense of recognition. That sound is your nervous system picking up on coherence. Write one word in the comments if this hits you. Present. Don't think about it. Let the people in your field talk first. This simple acknowledgement keeps the signal stable in the perception grid and confirms that you are a part of the coherence shift that is already happening. In the next section, we'll talk more about how identity patterns form in the nervous system and how old identity fields can dissolve easily, letting your system settle into a new harmonic state that changes the way you experience reality from the inside out. Most people think of their identity as a mix of their personality traits, likes and dislikes, habits, and stories about who they are. They believe that identity is stored in memories and self-images in the mind. But identity is not an idea from the point of view of field consciousness. Identity is a steady pattern of frequencies that is stored in the nervous system, the emotional body, and the biofield that surrounds and goes through the body. The thought is not something you just think about. You send it out into the world all the time through your posture, breath, muscle tone, hormones, small facial expressions, and unconscious expectations. Before you could put into words who you were, your nervous system was already learning how to stay alive, find a place to belong, stay safe, and be in touch with other people. Every experience, especially ones that made you feel strong emotions, left a mark on your brain and in the electromagnetic memory of your cells. Over time, these imprints set up response patterns that could be predicted. These patterns change the way you normally see the world, how you feel, and how you react automatically to things like stress, love, uncertainty, success, and failure. These things are known as identity crystallization in the field sciences of Arcturia. After many experiences, a fluid field of awareness slowly settles into a stable frequency structure. This is fine. It's not a mistake. It's just how biological consciousness keeps itself stable in the physical world. Kids learn what makes them feel safe and what makes them feel scared. That's how nervous systems learn which emotional states are good and which ones hurt or make you feel rejected. A perception grid is created that looks at the world for patterns that are familiar and blocks out information that goes against the established identity field. What started out as a flexible way to adapt turns into a rigid expectation over time. Instead of responding to what is happening in the present, the nervous system responds to templates from the past that have been stored. It makes sense that something is different now that you are not in the same place, with the same people, or facing the same threats. But your body still reacts as if nothing has changed. In the identity field, things are not as they seem. Until new coherence patterns are embodied consistently enough to overwrite the old ones, it will keep sending out old survival frequencies. From the point of view of an Arcturian, your identity works in the perception grid like a phase-locked loop. Once it is stable, it keeps looking for feedback that proves itself. If the frequency of being overlooked is in your identity field, you will unconsciously notice signs that no one is seeing you. If your identity field has a frequency that makes you feel unsafe, you will look for threats even when things aren't dangerous. If the frequency of unworthiness is in your identity field, You will see unclear situations as rejection or failure. The field then sends this frequency back to you through experience, which makes the identity loop stronger. Not because the universe wants to test you, it's not because you deserve it, but because coherence always works in the field. It boosts the pattern that stays stable in your system the most. This is why it can be so hard to make real changes. It's not like changing a habit. You are telling your nervous system to let go of a frequency structure that kept you alive in the past. Some part of your body still connects that structure with safety, predictability, and control, even if it's causing you pain right now. When it comes to pain, the body often chooses familiar pain over new freedom because familiar pain feels safe. That's why you might feel resistance when you start to change your frequency. You might feel uncomfortable, antsy, emotional waves, or like you're not stable at all. This is not a fail. This is called recalibration. Your system is changing the way its internal signals are set up. There are fewer and fewer old coherence patterns. The new ones aren't fully stable yet. The nervous system is learning a new language that helps it feel safe and grow. This is where having compassion is very important. Having trouble doesn't mean you're broken. It's not weak to feel like old habits or feelings are pulling you back. You are seeing the natural biological process of changing who you are. During this process, the observer role will help you the most. Metacoherence is what Arcturian consciousness science calls what happens when you watch your internal reactions without becoming them. It becomes possible for awareness to withstand changes without giving in to them. This makes a space between the stimulus and the response. In that buffer zone, you can make a choice. There can be new frequency pathways. Think about a river that has been cutting a deep channel for a long time. Because it has the least resistance, water flows naturally through that channel. It would take a lot of energy to try to move the water in a different direction all at once. But if you slowly make a new channel next to the old one and keep putting small amounts of water into it, the new channel will get deeper over time while the old one dries out. The same is true for changing your identity. There's no harm done to the old channel. You are just not giving it unconscious energy anymore. As you choose to pause instead of automatically reacting, breathe instead of tensing up, and be present instead of protecting yourself, you send a small stream of energy into a new coherence pathway. At first, it seems strange. It might even feel risky. But after a while of using the new path, the nervous system starts to trust it. Safety checks again. Identity changes. It gets easier to change the frequency field. Higher probabilities can stay the same because of this flexibility. A rigid identity field makes reality into a small set of choices. A flexible identity field lets you look at a wider range of probabilities. This is why synchronicity, creativity, and flow are more common in people who feel free on the inside. Their signal is not as limited. The field has more room to change how it acts. Emotional addiction is another important part of who we are. Many emotions are chemically strengthened by being exposed to them over and over again. The body can get used to stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, as well as neurochemicals that are linked to sadness. When they're not there, the nervous system can feel strangely uncomfortable because it has grown used to them. Peace can feel strange. Being calm can get old. If you grew up with a lot of chaos, stability can feel dangerous. This doesn't mean you are hooked on conscious suffering. It means that your body has learned a certain chemical pattern and thinks it is normal. As you move toward coherence, the lack of stress chemicals that are familiar to you can feel strange. You might unintentionally make things more complicated, think too much, or worry just to get back to the way things used to be inside your head. One more time, this is not sabotage. This process cleans out the body. Your body is getting rid of old chemical identities and learning how to keep itself in balance in a new setting. Slowly sticking with it is the key. Not making people change, not being hard on yourself for going backwards. Noticing, coming back to presence, and letting the nervous system slowly reset are all that is needed. Identity has another side that isn't often talked about. Your identity field is not a separate part of your body. It always connects to the planetary consciousness grid, the social field, and the collective field. You are a part of higher frequency systems. There are many things that affect your identity signal, such as your family, culture, belief systems, emotional climates, and generational trauma fields. Some of the patterns you wear were not yours to begin with. They were passed down, absorbed, or entrained through long-term exposure. Because of this, you may sometimes have emotional responses that don't make sense for the situation. Your nervous system may be trying to clear up ancestral or collective frequency imprints that you carry. When you change your personal coherence, you often start to remove layers that go beyond your own life story. This can feel deep, confusing, or very important. It can also get old after a while. Take care of yourself. It doesn't matter if you were aware that you were part of a larger field recalibration or not. This is called harmonic uplift in the Arcturian field model. As soon as a localized node of consciousness stabilizes higher coherence, it automatically has an effect on fields nearby through resonance. Your nervous system turns into a tuning fork for the whole grid. You don't have to fix everything now. It only means that the work you do on the inside is important beyond what you can see. You might notice changes in your relationships as your identity field softens and gets clearer. Some ties may get stronger. Some people may naturally drift away. In no way is this a punishment or a loss. It is sorting by frequency. Systems change how they work based on coherence. What matches your signal integrity comes to you. You might also notice that old wants fade away and new ones appear. This is the change of identity. What hits home for you changes as your frequency does. Your nervous system starts to focus on experiences that help you reach the new level of coherence. It may feel like you're changing into a different person at times. In reality, you're just letting go of layers of conditioning that were never really you. The basic awareness that makes up identity stays the same. It gets clearer, more real, and easier to get to. This helps us understand something very important. You're not here to get rid of your old self. You're here to merge with it and go beyond it. The old identity had a reason for being. It kept you safe. It helped you get around in places that needed special changes. Being thankful breaks down resistance. When you don't fight your past patterns, but instead honor their intelligence, they let go of you naturally. You could thank the part of you that learned to be quiet, work hard, make other people happy, stay alert, protect, and endure. Those strategies were smart ways to deal with the places you lived. They were always right. They aren't needed as much as they used to be. When you bring compassion into the process, your nervous system feels safe enough to let go of old ways of doing things. This makes coherence stabilization happen faster. Practicing observer awareness regularly also causes a big change in the way your brain works. The parts of the brain that control self-referential thinking and emotional response start to quiet down. Networks of prefrontal coherence get stronger. Heart-brain synchronization gets better. Stabilizes through autonomic regulation. This leads to changes that can be measured in heart rate variability, ability to handle stress, emotional control, and mental clarity. You're not making these changes up. They are real-time changes that are happening in biology. The electromagnetic field around your body gets more organized as coherence stabilizes on the inside. Cleaner information is carried by this ordered field into the quantum matrix around it. Your signal is seen by the field as stable, reliable, and coherent. As a response, it opens up probability pathways that match the signal. It's not magic. There is physics at work through consciousness. Time perception is another subtle but powerful part of changing who you are. When you loosen your sense of identity, you may feel less trapped by stories from the past and worries about the future. It gets brighter in the present moment. Being creative gets better. Intuition gets stronger. This is because the nervous system isn't constantly checking old memory banks to make sure everything is safe. It can be used to react to what is happening right now. People sometimes call this state entering the now field or present coherence band. In this band, your perception grid works more clearly and with less distortion. You see chances more quickly. You get a better sense of guidance. It's easier to make decisions when there is less internal conflict. It's not about leaving things behind or being passive. It's about getting in sync. Keep in mind that integration takes time as you go through this process. There will be days when you feel open and free. Some days you might feel tired, sad, or unsure. Both help keep things stable. Growth doesn't happen in a straight line. It comes out in waves. Believe that your system is smart. If you ever feel like you have too much to do, go back to your body. Take a deep breath in. Feel the ground under your feet. Put your hand on your heart. These easy steps send signals of safety to the nervous system and bring things back together. You're not the only one going through this. Right now, every human nervous system is going through some kind of identity recalibration. Things are changing quickly in the collective field. Old buildings are falling apart. There are new patterns of coherence coming out. People who are sensitive often feel this first. You have a huge advantage because you are willing to consciously participate in this process. You are learning how to surf field currents with awareness instead of letting them pull you down. In the next section, we'll talk about how emotional frequency turns into magnetic architecture, how heart coherence boosts signal integrity, and how you can start to stabilize your inner state on purpose so that your reality can change more easily and naturally. For now, just recognize how brave it is to be honest with yourself. Changing your identity is holy work. It changes not only your life, but also the field. We've reached a point where awareness turns into embodiment. At the level of the nervous system, this is where understanding starts to change who we are. Writing these exact words in the comments is what I want you to do if you want to anchor this recalibration instead of just listening to it. Not as a hope. As an affirmation, no. As a clear statement of frequency. When you write it, your system records an interruption in measurable coherence, and the field gets confirmation that your identity grid is being updated. Plus, your system is already learning how to do this very well. Most people don't think about this part of reality very often, but it affects almost everything that happens to them. It can't be seen with the naked eye, but it can be measured in the electromagnetic field and felt deeply in the body. This is the emotional frequency field of you. Your emotions are more than just feelings or thoughts inside you. They carry information magnetically. They set up the structure of the biofield around you and talk to the quantum probability matrix that surrounds all matter directly. Your heart, nervous system, and endocrine system all send out a measurable electromagnetic signature every time you feel something. This signature isn't just on your skin. There are interactions between it and other people, places, and even technology. It changes the way information comes at you and goes away from you. In simple terms, how you feel tells reality how to deal with you. Your field will be clear and organized if your emotional base is calm, grounded, and open. It's easy for information to move through. Chances come up naturally. When the signal you send is clean and easy to read, synchronicities go up. Your field gets noisy and broken up if your emotional base is worried, guarded, angry, or contracted. The flow of information gets messed up. Since the signal isn't stable, it causes mirror confusion, delay, or conflict. We're not here to say whether feelings are good or bad. There is intelligence in every emotion. Your internal environment and your nervous system safety level are revealed by each emotional state. The problem only starts when some emotions last for a long time, and you aren't aware of how they are shaping your identity field. The heart is very important to this process. A lot of research in recent years has shown that the heart makes a much stronger electromagnetic field than the brain. It goes out a few feet beyond the body and carries complicated patterns of information that affect systems around it. A condition known as heart coherence results from the heart and brain working in sync. In this state, the body's systems work better to keep things in balance. Emotions are more stable, thinking is clearer, and the electromagnetic field is very well organized. From the point of view of an Arcturian, heart coherence is like an amplifier for the field. The signal integrity of your whole biofield is stabilized. It lets your intention, emotion, and awareness all work together to send out a single message that makes sense. In this case, the quantum field gets a clear set of instructions instead of bits and pieces of data. This is the reason why being thankful, compassionate, present, and grateful are not just spiritual ideas. They are physiological, coherent states that increase the capacity of signal transmission. If you really get into these states, your nervous system goes into parasympathetic regulation, your heart rhythms even out, and your electromagnetic field becomes balanced. This can't be forced, though. It's not possible to tell your heart to be thankful when your nervous system is still in stress mode. When the body feels safe enough to let down its guard, coherence happens naturally. Because of this, nervous system regulation is still crucial. Without safety, coherence is still not strong. A lot of people try to get around this by seeking out high emotions or denying unpleasant feelings. This usually doesn't work because repressing emotions leads to internal chaos, which makes the field less stable instead of more stable. When there is true coherence, all emotions can be felt, processed, and brought together without taking over as the main identity state. The magnetic field stays flexible and responsive as long as emotional energy flows instead of standing still. Emotional flexibility helps the system adapt. Distortion is caused by rigidity. People may find it easier to talk to you on days when you feel emotionally open and balanced. The conversations feel right. Making choices feels natural. Everything is harder on days when you are angry or stressed. Delays get worse. There are misunderstandings. It's hard to get energy. This is not a mistake. It's field feedback responding to the signal inside you. You can't make the quantum field do what you want it to. In other words, it reacts to how you are feeling. Tension is caused by desire that doesn't make sense. Alignment is made when desire is based on coherence. This is why visualizing change rarely works on its own. If you think about having plenty while feeling like you don't have enough, the scarcity signal will still win. The field reflects the main frequency, not the mental picture. At the gate of emotional frequency is the nervous system. When the nervous system senses danger, it automatically puts survival responses ahead of coherent ones. Higher parts of the brain get less blood flow. The chemistry of hormones changes towards states of stress. Perception gets narrower. The magnetic field starts to get jumbled. When the nervous system feels safe, it makes resources available for growth, connection, creativity, and learning. The magnetic field stays the same. Free flow of information. This makes it possible to access higher-order probability states. This is why even small actions that make things safer are so important. Simple breathing exercises, being aware of your surroundings, gentle movement, getting enough rest and water, and being kind to yourself emotionally all help to maintain nervous system safety. These aren't small ways to take care of yourself. They are tools for frequency engineering. A lot more than intense spiritual practices once in a while. The small choices you make every day shape your magnetic architecture. More important than intensity is consistency. As coherence becomes more stable, your perception grid starts to change in a small way. You start to see opportunities you didn't see before. You have a better sense of time. You are being pushed to do things that are in line with flow instead of struggle. This isn't because things got kinder all of a sudden. It's because the ratio of your signal to noise got better. Now your system can get better information from the field. There are many names for this, such as intuition, guidance, or alignment. From the point of view of a field, it's just your biofield and the quantum matrix exchanging coherent information. Your feelings don't get in the way of your spiritual growth. They are tools for navigation. They let you know when your system is getting stronger or weaker. One of the most useful skills you can learn is how to listen to them without letting them control you. Curiosity, not control, is a good way to deal with emotional frequency. When an emotion comes up, don't judge it as good or bad. Just notice it. In what part of your body do you feel it? What feelings come with it? Does it feel crowded or open? Does it call for contraction or growth? Emotional energy can often move and combine just by being aware of it. When you show presence to your emotions, they finish their biological cycle and let go on their own. Emotions that are resisted or pushed down are stored as frequency patterns that change the magnetic field. This is why being emotionally honest is so important for coherence. If you are breaking up parts of your own experience, you can't stabilize a coherent signal. Harmony comes from integration. Denying makes noise. Relational resonance is another important part of emotional frequency. Your field is always connecting with the fields of the people around you. When it comes to electromagnetic waves, emotions can spread quickly. This is what makes places feel heavy or light. You are literally in sync with the fields around you. As your own coherence grows, you react less strongly to emotional upheaval in other people. Instead of being pulled into chaos, your field stays stable. This is the power of emotion. It doesn't mean being emotionally alone. It means keeping your own sense of self while staying kind and open. When you consistently show coherence, people may start to regulate without even realizing it when they are with you. Their nervous system is calmed down by your presence. Their perception grid is changed by how clear you are. This is not mind reading. It is called resonance physics. At the field level, this is how leadership, healing presence, and real influence work. No one is persuaded by you. You get on. How quickly manifestations stabilize is also affected by your emotional frequency. When the emotional baseline is consistent, feedback loops happen more quickly because the field can respond with little distortion. Because the signal isn't consistent, a broken emotional baseline causes delays and mixed results. This is still why patience is important. As coherence gets better, the field may still be changing the way things are set up. It takes time to lose old momentum. Trust makes the process stable. Realizing how much you value simple things is one of the most powerful ways to increase coherence. Not being thankful all the time, but noticing what is already working, what is already helpful, and what is already alive in your life. This changes the emotional frequency slowly without ignoring reality. Heart-centered breathing is another thing you can do. Slowly breathing into the area around the heart, while remembering a time when you felt cared for, connected, or beautiful, can help your heart and brain beat in sync. This has immediate effects on the biofield's coherence. That being said, practices are just tools. Identity alignment is what leads to the deeper change. Coherence doesn't have to be hard to achieve once you start living from an identity that makes you feel safe, worthy, and present. You may notice that your priorities change as you take this information in. Peace may be more important to you than success, presence more important than performance, and alignment more important than control. This is not a break from life. It is the development of consciousness. You might also become more aware of places, things, people, and relationships that throw off your balance. Being sensitive is not a sign of weakness. It is figuring out the signal. As you learn, you will learn how to keep your field honest. This doesn't need to be done alone or with judgment. It just means picking places to be that are good for your nervous system and help you control your emotions. Life starts to treat you differently as you work to stabilize coherence. It might not be easier, but it will be smarter. Challenges stop being threats and start being teachers. Setbacks are no longer seen as failures, but as signals to reevaluate. There is no sense of forced growth in growth. We will talk about how observer awareness collapses probability timelines, how identity coherence chooses future states, and how you can consciously tune in to future self-harmonics that are already there in the field in the next section. Take a moment to notice how you're feeling right now. Just look at it without trying to change it. Listen to the beat of your breath. You can feel your heart's soft electromagnetic presence. Take a moment to appreciate the fact that you are alive, aware, and able to grow right now. Being aware of that is already coherence in action. For example, if you feel your emotional field getting a little more stable, you might notice a calmer breath, a softer chest, or a clearer presence. This is your magnetic architecture starting to reorganize. Write one word in the comments. Aligned if this resonance feels real to you. This makes the heart field signal stronger and your coherence broadcast inside the observation grid more stable. You should share this message with anyone who came to your mind while you were listening, whose heart, nervous system, or life could benefit from this frequency transmission right now. Sharing is more than just passing on information. It increases the harmonic signal between nervous systems that are like-minded and transmits coherence through the collective field. The field makes its stabilization pattern stronger for everyone when this transmission goes through channels that are lined up. The power that flows through you all the time, whether you are aware of it or not. It's not the power of force, of will, or of control. It's the power of being noticed. The place where your awareness is where energy gathers. What you keep looking at with strong feelings turns into experience over time. Philosophical talk is not this. It is the basic process by which probability turns into reality. At the quantum level, reality starts out as a huge pool of possible states. Before something is fully formed, it needs to be seen. Wave information is squished down into a specific expression through observation. Of course, observation is more than just looking. The state of your nervous system, emotional field, belief architecture, and identity coherence all interact with the probability field when you observe. You are not just thinking about your timeline when you choose it. It is something you choose based on the whole of who you are. When you know that you are the observer effect becomes very personal. Which version of reality you can see depends on the version of you that is present at any given time. Even if two people are in the same place, they can have very different experiences because their perception grids filter reality in different ways. Their nerves pick up on different signals. Different streams of information affect their emotional fields in different ways. They collapse different probabilities from the same field based on their identity coherence. Your perception grid is the way you connect with reality on the inside. It has unconscious safety algorithms, memory bias, emotional interpretation, sensory filters, and expectation structures. It tells you what to pay attention to and what to ignore, as well as what seems possible and what seems dangerous. It's not the same. Your identity field shapes it. When survival frequency rules your perception grid, it puts finding threats, controlling them, and knowing what will happen next at the top of the list. It blocks out subtle chances, creative urges, and intuitive signals that aren't necessary for survival right now. The bandwidth of your perception grid grows when it becomes coherent. It starts to notice synchronicities, alignment cues, and creative openings that were there all along but couldn't be seen before. This is why change often feels like the world gets brighter, more meaningful, and more alive all of a sudden. It's not like things changed overnight. It's because your perception grid got better at resolution. There is no faraway future in linear time that you need to wait for. It's already there in the field as a harmonic probability pattern. As frequency configurations, all of your possible selves exist at the same time. Some make more sense. Some are more broken up. Some are made bigger. Some are squished. Your nervous system is always tuned into one of these harmonics based on how you are feeling. In this case, timeline selection means this: there is no future for you as you move forward. You are tuning into a frequency that matches a certain kind of experience. Your access point in the probability field changes when your internal coherence changes. Imagine a radio that can pick up a lot of stations. As electromagnetic signals, all stations exist at the same time. By tuning into the station, you don't make it. All you have to do is set your receiver to the frequency. The same is true for your identity coherence. Based on the signal you carry, you can tune into different experiential timelines. This means that your future self is real. Real frequencies are already set up in this way in the field. The stable, sure of yourself, creative, loving, and contented version of yourself already exists as a symmetrical pattern. There's no need to struggle to become that person. You need to be able to focus on that signal and keep it stable in your nervous system. Your body may be recognizing this frequency, not your mind. This is a sign that you should stabilize it. Sign up now for a living, coherent stream, not just a channel. With each transmission, your nervous system stays in alignment, your signal integrity is strengthened, and your field stays in sync with higher-order harmonic intelligence. At this point, the observer turns into the selector. When you stop listening and start tuning your own timeline. If you're ready to make this shift happen instead of putting it off, write this statement in the comments exactly as shown. I pick my timeline that makes sense. Not as a wish, not as a reason, as a command for frequency. When you write it down, you lock your nervous system into conscious alignment and leave your mark on the field. This is why identity change comes before manifestation. You can't get to a frequency that is too high for your nervous system to handle safely. If your system is set up to deal with threats, it won't be able to handle abundance or deep connection without starting protective responses. Safety makes bandwidth bigger. Being aware of yourself as an observer lets you leave unconscious identity loops and start choosing coherence on purpose. You can tell the difference between awareness and pattern when you watch your thoughts, feelings, and actions without getting caught up in them. This space between you gives you a choice. Instead of falling back on old ways of surviving, you can start to align with a higher coherent state. Not putting down or rejecting parts of yourself does not mean this. It means being aware that you are not just one pattern. Being aware of many states without being limited by them is what you are. As this awareness becomes more stable, something very important happens in the brain. Moving out of habitual prediction loops and into processing in the present moment is what the brain does. The plasticity of neurons grows. It becomes possible to use new paths. Emotional control gets better. The nervous system stops being afraid of new things and starts to trust them. This neurological adaptability lets the body hold on to new identity harmonics. You don't feel different because you tried to change. You feel different because your system has settled into a new baseline. You might notice changes in how you breathe, move, talk, and handle problems. These changes aren't just for looks. They are changes in frequency that are built into your body. Your future self is not a character from a story you make up. It's a real, physical, and energetic state that your body can learn to take on. By asking simple but powerful questions, you can start to intentionally connect with this harmonic. In this moment, how would the me who is safe in my own life breathe? What would the part of me that trusts the flow of reality do in this case? How would the version of me that thinks I'm worthy let this moment happen to them? Logic is not the right way to answer these questions. Listen to your body. Change the way you stand. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath. Make your shoulders softer. Give your nervous system a chance to physically sample the new frequency. This is known as somatic tuning. The body learns the new harmonic by experiencing it, not by thinking about it. At first, the new state might feel strange or even a little uncomfortable. That makes sense. You are making your nervous system stronger. As you keep going back to this state, it starts to feel more natural. The new identity field becomes stable. As this happens, small changes start to show up in your outside life. The way people talk changes. Chances come together. Creative ideas come to the surface. You might feel led to make choices that seemed risky or unclear before. This is the field that is responding to the new signal you sent. This process doesn't need constant work. Awareness is needed all the time. You don't have to hold the new state right away. You only need to gently go back to it whenever you feel a contraction. As observer awareness grows, there is also a growth in emotional maturity. You are less affected by short-term states. You stop seeing short-lived moods as permanent facts. You learn how to handle complexity without giving up in the face of too much. This emotional stability makes your field coherence even more stable. You may also notice that motivations based on fear start to lose their power over you. It doesn't drive you as much to prove, please, or protect. You start acting based on your own inner alignment instead of what other people say is right. There is a change from a survival orientation to a creative orientation in identity coherence. The creative orientation isn't about making art or something for other people. It means taking part in life as a co-creator instead of a responder in defense. You feel more alive, more interested, and more involved with what might happen. Your sense of time often changes as this orientation becomes more stable. You don't feel as rushed, it gets more present. Things feel fuller. This is because your nervous system isn't constantly looking to the past and future for signs of danger. You can get it now. It's strong to be here. The field responds most directly to coherence in the present moment. When you're fully present, your signal is clear and not broken up. This speeds up the feedback loops between the internal state and the response from the outside. You might start to notice little synchronicities that make sense to you. A thought lines up with a message that you didn't expect. A question is answered by a conversation that just happens. A resource that is needed shows up naturally. These are signs that your perception grid is picking up on subtle channels of information that it had been blocking out before. Don't try to get these things. Let them come out on their own. Chasing builds tension and breaks down order. Being open comes from trust. With observer awareness comes a bigger responsibility as well. As you learn that your state affects what you experience, you may pay more attention to what you put into your body. Consuming media, interacting with others, talking to yourself, rest, and food all have an effect on coherence. That's not what this is about. It's about having respect for the truth in your field. You might start picking places to be that are good for your nervous system instead of ones that stress it out too much. You might value deep connection more than shallow distraction. As coherence grows, these choices happen naturally. Not at all. You're not getting stiff or distant. You're getting in sync. Joy is easier to find, which is one of the most beautiful things about this process. You no longer need to achieve things outside of yourself to feel good. Being present itself is good for you. Little things feel rich. Finding gratitude is easy and doesn't take any work. This doesn't mean that problems go away. Challenges no longer make you who you are. You meet them from a place of strength instead of fear. Remember that growth happens in layers as you bring observer awareness into your daily life. You will feel deeply aligned some days. On other days, old patterns will show up. This is not going backwards. It's called integration. The new identity field gets stronger every time you notice and choose coherence again. In the next section, we'll talk about how the body stores time, how cellular memory affects the creation of reality, and how gentle embodied practices can help you let go of old frequency imprints and make new timelines stable at the biological level. Right now, just take a moment to notice where your attention is right now. Bring it into your body slowly. Feel a soft sense of life in your chest, hands, and breath. This simple action brings observer awareness into the body. There's no need to wait for your future self. You are learning how to make sense of things so that you can receive yourself. The field is already answering. Most people never learn to recognize that something very smart is going on inside their bodies all the time. Time doesn't work the same way in your body as it does in your mind. Our minds remember the past through stories and pictures. Feelings, chemicals, patterns of tension, breathing patterns, and reflexes are all ways that the body remembers the past. This is known as temporal imprinting in the language of Arcturian biology. In the nervous system and cellular memory, every emotionally charged event leaves a frequency mark. These marks don't go away just because time goes by. They stay active until the nervous system feels safe and stable enough to let them go. This is why your body may still tighten, brace, or pull away when similar situations happen. Even if you know that something is over, that a chapter has closed, and that you are no longer in danger or loss, your body is not attempting to harm you. It's just protecting based on data that has been stored. It learned how to stay alive in a certain place and will keep sending out that signal until new physical evidence shows otherwise. From the point of view of the field, this means that a lot of what people think of as fate or repeating patterns is really just unresolved cellular frequency looping. The body keeps sending old information into the probability field, and the field faithfully sends it back as familiar events. No, not as a punishment, not because of a limit, but as feedback on coherence. You are slowly changing the information stored in your cells when you start to calm your nervous system, practice presence, breathe consciously, soften your body, and let emotional energy flow instead of staying still. The body learns that the past and the present are not the same. There is more safety. Flexibility is back. The frequency trace gets weaker. This is why being there matters more than knowing something intellectually. Having insight does not rewire the nervous system by itself. The new state must be felt over and over by the body. The body needs to feel safe while staying open. As the body grows, it needs to learn that growth no longer means danger. You may notice that as you become more coherent, old feelings come back to you out of the blue. Memories come back. Your body feels different things. You might feel sad sometimes, even if you don't know why. You might feel angry, relieved, happy, or sad sometimes without knowing why. This is not going backwards. We call this integration. It's letting go of stored energy. The nervous system is getting rid of old frequency residue. Let these waves come in slowly. Do not shut them down. Do not play them up. Just keep breathing, be in the present moment, and let the body's natural discharge cycle finish. In real time, this is biological healing going on. As these imprints fade, your body starts to work more in sync with the present moment. Your perception grid gets better. Your feelings become more stable. It makes your inner space bigger and more responsive instead of reactive. This improves the quality of the signal you send out into the field. Your past will have less of an effect on your future the more present your body is. This is where a lot of people have what seems like sudden changes in their lives. Not because something magically appeared from outside, but because their nervous system finally let go of enough old information to let new probabilities settle in. When the signal changes, the field reacts right away. You're not waiting for someone to let you change how you live. As you change, your body learns to trust a new way of being. Peak experiences are not enough to stabilize transformation on their own. It stays stable through daily coherence, because of how you talk to yourself when no one is around. By the way you breathe when you're stressed, by how you decide to answer instead of react, by taking care of your time, energy, body, and setting limits. Every little choice strengthens a frequency path. Every pause makes the observer stronger. Your signal integrity is stabilized every moment you are present. That's not what this is about. There will still be days when old habits come back to you. You will still get tired sometimes. You will still feel waves of emotions. This is a part of integrating. What's different now is that you don't see these states as who you are. You see them as clouds moving through a bigger sky of awareness. More important than intensity is consistency. 5 minutes of steady breathing every day can stabilize more change than a few weeks of deep meditation followed by weeks of sleeping. Small habits that make sense add up. Your nervous system starts to trust life again as coherence gets better. You're more at ease when you get help, rest, joy, connection, and plenty. You stop getting ready to fall apart. You start to be more present in the present moment. This changes the way you naturally think about your goals and how they come true. From now on, you don't chase results out of lack. You move toward what makes sense to you. The chances that come your way are met. You have a better sense of time. You're more clear when you say yes and no. You stop making decisions based on fear and start making them based on what's right for you. Feeling this way is what real guidance feels like. It's not exciting. It's a calm, sure knowing. You may also find that you need less validation from other people. You have more faith in yourself. You feel grounded inside. This makes your electromagnetic field even more stable, which makes your signal stronger and more stable. As your signal gets stronger, things in your life get better organized. Not exactly right, but smartly. Resistance goes down. Flow gets stronger. It's easier to work out. You live in a different feedback loop after a while. You are not alone in the world. There is a larger planetary consciousness grid that each nervous system is a part of. Your consistency helps keep the whole thing stable. You send a stabilizing resonance into the collective field when you calm your nervous system, soften your identity, and be present. This isn't a sign. It is possible to measure electromagnetic entrainment. Heart fields of different people affect each other. Emotional states can be spread through digital and close-by environments. Consciousness fields touch each other. If you pick coherence, you become a node in the grid that keeps it stable. People are calmer when they're with you. The conversations change. The energy in a room changes. It's easier to find solutions. You become a quiet anchor of control. You don't need to teach anyone. Your state sends without sound. In this way, big changes take place. Not through force or ideology, but by having enough people keep things in order until the collective field changes. What you do inside matters a lot more than what you see. Chapter 8. Purpose comes from making sense. A purpose is not something you look for. Something that shows up when your nervous system isn't trying to stay alive shows up. When fear goes away, curiosity comes out. When there is less contraction, ideas come to mind. Authenticity comes out when identity is loose. You naturally move toward things that make you feel good. You know what makes you feel good. You can feel what needs to get out into the world. There isn't always a dramatic purpose. Sometimes it's just being there. It's service sometimes. Sometimes it's making something. It can heal sometimes. Bringing coherence to places that need it a lot of the time is sometimes all it takes. Your frequency turns into what you're selling. When you live in line with your authentic signal, chances come your way on their own. The field gives you what helps you express yourself. You don't have to push your way through. You walk it. Change takes place in spirals. You will go back to old patterns with more awareness. This is not a fail. Now this is mastery. Believe in the process. Have faith in your nervous system. Trust the smart people in the field. Trust that you can control yourself, change, and grow. The field reacts to the person you are becoming, not the person you were. Each breath is a new message. Every choice changes the frequency. Every second is a new chance doorway. You don't have no power. You're not behind schedule. You're not hurt. There is a responsive universe that you are a living transmitter in. Be careful with that. Remember this as you go about your day, your conversations, your work, your rest, and your relationships. You are not here to control reality. You're here to make it happen. You are here to keep your nervous system stable so that life can meet you with intelligence, grace, and flow. You're already doing this by choosing to be present instead of habit, by breathing, by noticing, and by listening. Your signal has already changed. You can already hear your field. If this transmission touched you, let it get stronger. Say it into the field with your intention, your actions, your kindness to yourself, and your choice to pause instead of reacting. You're not changing into someone else. You are remembering how to make sense. The universe also hears coherence. Carry this frequency with care. Let it guide your days. Let it help you decide what to do. It will help you decide what to do next. Your signal is more important than you think. Just before you leave, please take a moment to like this message. In the quantum grid, that simple action creates a measurable coherence pulse that boosts the signal you just integrated and sends it back into your own field. It helps keep what your nervous system has set off in place and boosts the energetic momentum of your alignment. If you feel called, send this message to someone who is on the same level of awareness as you. When coherent signals move through networks that are lined up, the field's ability to organize things gets stronger. Not only are you sharing a video, but you're also adding to the collective grid's coherence and making it easier for conscious communities to form. Hold on just a moment. You made it this far, which means this message was meant for you. This isn't just luck, it's proof that you are ready for a major change. The universe is giving you a clear signal right now. It's time to move from struggling and chasing to easy receiving and flow. This simple idea can completely change your life. Stop forcing outcomes and start tuning into the natural flow where blessings multiply and show up in every area of your life. By clicking the link below, you are immediately stepping into a positive, high-energy community, a place where you learn the practical steps to stay aligned. You'll get immediate, early access to simple tools and clear teachings that help you see opportunities and resources that are currently hidden from most people. This is your chance to get the direct guidance, unwavering support, and fast progress you need to reach your true potential. Don't let this moment of readiness pass you by. Your breakthrough is just one click away. Join our Ready to Receive community immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is the simple way to ensure you always get the personalized guidance you need to elevate and empower your life, exactly when you need it. If you want to go deeper and master this shift, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And if you feel like supporting this mission so we can reach more people who are ready, a link to buy me a coffee is there. Your support is always appreciated, but just showing up and focusing your energy is everything. Click the link. Your perfect timing is now.